Several days later, I received a call from Larry's Taipei office manager. He had set up an appointment with the U.S. Embassy for an interview for a visitor's visa, and he would send Angel the required documents. The only thing they wanted me to do was coach Angel on the interview questions. I had about 5 weeks to prepare her. As chance would have it, I was also teaching a special business class that used the immigration interview process as part of the teaching format. The students consisted of entrepreneurs in their mid-30s who had applied for business investor status to either Canada or the States. They had money behind them, and my job was identical to the one I was performing for Angel. Role-play the part of the immigration officer. These students were happy to provide me with numerous books, brochures, and forms needed to understand the complex labyrinth of immigration. I understood all right. Immigration was big business. The mounting anxiety of Communist China's plans for Hong Kong and Taiwan had caused a massive demand for safe places to stash cash and make a run to if need be. This gave birth to an explosion of immigration schemes and scams that became a feeding frenzy of con artists intent on shearing the fat sheep before they escaped to the Golden Mountains with their money. If you were born Chinese, there were 4 ways to get out of Taiwan. As a foreign student who had been offered a scholarship, or whose parents could cough up the twice the going rate of tuition and residence fees, as a scientist or computer genius, as a business investor, and as a spouse. There was big money to be made catering to any of these 4 methods. For the students, there were brokers who knew every American college and university scholarship program. They would fill out the application forms and coach potential candidates for US $20,000. Special Bushi bands, cram schools, focused entirely on memorizing every SAT test given in the past 5 years. Students were guaranteed a 480 score for $3,000 US, and a good chance at a scholarship and immigration visa. There were rental agencies that would sublet the expensive college residence and have the Chinese students share a house with 14 others. The savings were split between both parties. For brain drain hopefuls, there were executive employment agencies in every sector offering consultations and requiring retainers of US $5,000 and up. Lucrative jobs in the computer industry were offered, with the additional bonus of selling industrial trade secrets back to Taiwanese electronics firms specializing in computer chip knockoffs. The spouse hopefuls frequented Sugar Daddy Row, hoping to meet a soft-headed foreign financial baron who would save them from eternal servitude. These ladies incurred the considerable costs of being beautiful and charming. For them, there were $300 sessions at the beauty parlors, aerobics classes, designer dresses, English lessons, and trips to Japan for quality plastic surgery and breast enhancement. As for business investors, they were given the full treatment. Every weekend, another of Taipei's mega hotel complexes would offer a seminar series put on by foreign countries who offered immigration status to those with enough money. Meeting Room A would host a seminar on investment in water filtration systems in Australia's Queensland area. Meeting Room B offered shares in salmon farms in British Columbia. In Meeting Room C, one could buy into canning factories in Newfoundland, and so on. The host countries hoped the lure of immigration status would attract money for pet projects that no one in their right mind would invest in. Those that got their money through inheritance rather than by brains might be interested for a short time, and occasionally one would even come up with the money. But most came for the free coffee and desserts. For others, those that made their money the old-fashioned way, by lying, stealing, and cheating, there were endless number of investment firms that peddled everything from Florida swampland to Honduran sweatshops. The general feeling was that dealing with the government trade mission meant you needed a squeaky clean background. But the investment firms didn't care how you made your money. They only wanted a good portion of it. Needless to say, most business investors dealt with the investment firms. They would pay for an acre of Arizona scrubland what would buy them a classy Chinese restaurant in a nice neighborhood in any major city. But the catch was that the scrubland, for reasons known only to the investment broker, bestowed immediate citizenship on its owner. And who could doubt that this was true? Most of these firms had been in business less than a year, yet they all looked like the Bank of Zurich. Each investment firm office was paneled in dark oak with gold moldings and trim. Thick plush carpets beneath a Louis XIV leather sofas overlooking art house paintings illuminated by gold-plated lamps. Pretty receptionists speak in soft undertones, as if making any loud sounds would disturb the very important and solemn process of making money. Past the reception area, investors would be shown the heart of the beast. In dozens of small glass offices, banks of computer monitors are manned by immaculately dressed young executives in dark power suits and crisp white shirts, busily wheeling and dealing through micro-telephone headsets. When a consultant told an investor that in America pigs fly, most would look around for a minute and ask, how high? After all, if these investors were geniuses, they wouldn't be there. I had, on occasion, business that brought me to several of these establishments, but I found the decor too irreverent and the army of executives too busy, too efficient. It looked like a big store con. Footnote: the big store is a term used among grifters to describe any dazzling display of wealth and stability that convinces the mark to invest money. After making their deposits in cash, the investors would wait for the papers to arrive. When they were turned down for immigration status, the investors would return to the firm for an explanation. Naturally, the problem was that their original investment was too small to overcome the barrier of their shadowy past, and the solution was to buy more. I met one family that had invested money in 6 different projects, each one guaranteeing citizenship. They asked my advice before investing in a 7th with the same firm. I told them in America there was no such thing as a guaranteed citizenship. They scoffed and invested anyways. Eventually, they got a visitor's visa to go and see what their money had really bought them. But that was enough. As soon as they got off the plane, they claimed refugee status. And of course, everywhere and in every facet of the immigration maze, there were the immigration lawyers. They played a version of the investment firm con, whereby they would not only know the secret tricks of smoothing out the application process, but they also had a lucrative investment opportunity that they were offering to only a few select clients. Most would simply charge hefty legal fees for having their secretary fill out the application form, After all, there was really nothing they could do that would make it any more likely to get an immigration visa. An immigration visa was out of the question for Angel. They would try for a visitor's visa and, once in America, file for landed immigrant status. This was a well-known ploy, and every immigration office had restrictions on who was issued a visitor visa. Angel had to prove three things: that she had a good education, that she had a long-term work history and was currently employed in a long-term career, and that she leaves behind property and savings worth $250,000 US as hostage should she fail to return. Under martial law, no Chinese could expatriate any cash or savings in excess of $5,000 US. Those caught at the airport with suitcases full of cash had their money and passports confiscated. By showing you had assets left behind was kind of a guarantee that you would not give it all up just to stay in America. Through Larry's office manager in Taipei, Angel had the necessary immigration applications filled out. The Taipei manager would be able to forge documents stating that Angel had been a secretary at the trading company for the past 5 years. Next, she would need a bank statement showing that she had enough savings and that she owned the apartment she was living in. That one was easy. The hard part was faking an educational background. Angel never went further than elementary school, yet she needed a minimum of a college education. Again, the Taipei manager came to the rescue with an associate who trafficked in forged documents. Angel was supplied with an office administration diploma from a Hong Kong business college. With the paperwork in place, the only remaining task was to coach Angel on the interview process in English. I had a booklet published by the U.S. Immigration Service that listed the questions used in the interview. I used the book to rehearse Angel on her cover story. I was the immigration officer and she was the applicant. "Hello, please come in." "How do you do? My name is Miss Angel." "No, don't say how do you do. They don't say that anymore. Just say hello." "Hello, my name is Miss Angel." "Tell me why you wish to visit the United States." "I wish to see my husband Larry." "No, Angel, you can't say that. You can't mention that you have any kind of relationship with Larry other than professional." "What do I say?" "Say you want to vacation there." "My name is Miss Angel, and I want to vacate America." "No, it's vacation, not vacate." "I want to vacation to America." "And how long do you plan to stay in America?" "I plan to live with my new husband." "No, you can't say that. Say 2 weeks." 2 weeks. Angel paused and sighed. "There is so much to remember. I can't think all this. Let's take a break, okay? Are you hungry?" "No, and I really think you need to work on this more since we have only a month and there's still 10 more pages of questions." "How far we get today?" "About a quarter page." "Why, say, so much to learn." "That's why we really need to work hard." "Oh, I know you worry so much for me. You so sweet. But please, we take a little break now?" "But we've only been at it 10 minutes. "You know I pay no matter how long." "That's not what I worry about, and don't try to change the subject. This interview is pretty tough from what I've heard, and you better be ready. If there's going to be a hope in hell you get a visa." I knew whatever Angel would face in the States could not be worse than the inevitable fate that awaited her here. "Okay, tomorrow I promise work real hard. Now you take me to Ding Hao and you show me what dress American businesswomen wear." Angel was used to buying only dazzling evening gowns and fuck-me dresses. Okay, you promised to work hard. Yes, yes, I promise. Work hard, promise. Now we go shopping? Angel was afraid to ride on my motorcycle, so we took a taxi to the West End shopping district called Ding Hao, where the upscale boutiques sold the latest designer copies. We looked through the shops and I suggested some outfits I remember seeing women wearing back home. She bought a half-dozen skirt and jacket ensembles. 2 were dark pinstripe power suits. The rest pastel and beige colored, of the type one imagines New York socialites would wear to the country club for lunch. Angel looked good in every one of the outfits she bought, and I was sure she would make a good impression at the interview. After an hour, I grew tired of shopping and left Angel to continue on her own. She offered to take me to dinner, but I wasn't hungry, so I took a taxi back to her apartment to collect my bike. The last 2 weeks before the interview, Angel hired me for lessons every night. Larry paid. Larry also called 2, even 3 times a day to talk with both Angel and myself to check on her progress and finalize the small details. Angel and Larry were both becoming increasingly excited over her impending visit, and Angel would tell me about the secret plans for happiness her and Larry had made. We would live here, we would vacation there, we would visit this and see that. Angel's English didn't improve much. Most of each lesson Angel spent daydreaming out loud about her future life in America. Do you think Larry's children will like me as Mother Smack? Do you know Larry's office address? Should I ask him to call me Mommy or Mother? You should know the address where you're supposed to have worked for the past 5 years. What if their real mother wants to visit? Should I let them visit her? What's Larry's office address? No, you don't listen to me. This is important how raise kids. Please answer my question. You want answers? Here's the answers. Larry is never going to get divorced. You will be put up in a condo on the beach where he will fuck you every other weekend. You will never see the kids, the house, or the wife. If you ever meet any of his family or friends, he will introduce you as the girl from the office. After a few years, everyone will get bored with the situation, and you'll probably get to keep the condo if you promise to keep quiet. With luck, you could be fairly well off and have the opportunity to marry and divorce some other gullible American businessmen and retire on a huge divorce settlement. Then you die. What? Never mind. Now what is the address where you work? Okay, I know. Why are you so mad? 118 Fu Ren Donglu. Larry did nothing to bring Angel back down to earth. He seemed as caught up with the fantasy as her. The night before the interview, he called me, and I was at the apartment, and it was early enough Taiwan time to justify my presence. So I spoke with him on the phone. So how's everything going with my little girl? Fine, just fine. We bought some outfits, and she looks the picture of a middle-class Chinese executive tourist. Good. I really appreciate you helping us out. Listen, Larry, I might be out of place here, but are you sure this is all going to work out? I mean, Angel's a sweet kid, and I hate to see her get fucked over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know, and I appreciate you taking such interest in her. I can tell you're a decent guy, but you don't have to worry. You see, I am madly in love with Angel. I want to get her the hell out of that goddamn country and give her a decent life here with me. As you probably know, I've got a bit of dough, and I can make sure she has everything she needs. Okay, Larry, I believe you. I just wanted to hear it from you. The appointment was set for 2 in the afternoon. It was surprisingly sunny and hot. Of course, the humidity was the same. Angel wore the virginal eggshell white outfit purchased for this occasion. Her hair and makeup were suitably subdued. She looked like she was going to her wedding. The American Embassy in Taipei was a large compound enclosed by 3 rings of security, 2 outer perimeters of chain link and barbed wire fences, and a 3rd perimeter of cinder brick wall topped with razor wire. Closed-circuit cameras, mounted conspicuously on poles and ceilings, gave 3 angles of view on everything in the place. The first perimeter was open to people who wanted the usual brochures and application forms. One needed identification and a listing on that day's appointment book to get into the 2nd ring of security measures. This contained the interview rooms and a large roofed-over outdoor waiting room that could seat about 300. It was full. On the walls there were many large posters, framed behind plexiglass shields on which were written in large bold letters such things as "No lawyers, consultants, counselors, or advocates allowed in the interview room. No one but the applicant may fill out the immigration forms. Lawyers may only be used if criminal charges are laid for false representation." It seemed they had had their fill of lawyers here. I accompanied Angel to the reception desk where she was given a number. We sat down and waited. I figured by the size of the crowd we'd have to wait all day, but a short 2 hours later, Angel's number was called. I got up with her and we started to walk through the door marked interview rooms, but an American security guard put out his hand and stopped me. "No lawyers allowed." "I'm not a lawyer, I'm a family friend." "Only the applicant is allowed inside." "But I'm here to help interpret for her." "There are interpreters in the interview room. No one else is allowed in." I turned to Angel. "Don't worry, Smacky. I'll be okay. I go myself." "Okay, I'll wait for you here." There were 2 immigration officers in the interview room, 1 American and 1 Chinese. The American was young, blond, and good-looking. He was friendly and polite, the result of Angel's beauty. The Chinese man was older, his thin hair combed back. He sat back staring at Angel as the American began the interview in English. "So you wish to visit the United States?" "Yes, I do." "Why would you like to visit the United States?" "Because everyone says so beautiful. That what American meaning in Chinese. Beautiful country." "Yes, I know. So you worked as a secretary for JKL Electronics?" "Yes." "How long have you worked there?" 5 years. "And before that, where did you work?" "I not work. I business college in Hong Kong." "Oh, what did you study?" "Business administration." "Oh, that's good." There was a pause, and the American shuffled some papers and turned to the Chinese man. "Okay, Miss Angel, that's all I need to know. I think Mr. Cho would like to talk with you in Chinese now." Angel was beginning to feel more relaxed. The American wasn't questioning her in any great detail, and it looked as if the story of her business career would hold water. The Chinese man would no doubt explain where she could go to pick up her visa. "So you work for electronic importer for 5 years?" "Yes." "What do you import?" "Radio components." "What is the name of your major supplier?" "Daitong Electric." "Where are they located?" "I don't know." "Who is your shipper?" I don't know shipping." "Do you bill 60 days or 90 days?" 60 days, I think." "How many units you ship per month?" "I don't know." "What are the American trade quotas on electronic parts?" I don't know." "You don't know much, do you?" "I'm just a secretary." "You're just a whore, you mean?" "How can you say such a thing? I'm only here to apply for visa." "Don't try to play stupid with me. Where do you work? Blue Angel? Millionaire Club?" "I'm not a whore. I'm a secretary." "And who is the sponsor? One of your clients, no doubt?" Tell me, is it true all American men like to take their Chinese women up the ass? Angel was speechless. I think you like it up the ass. I can tell by your face. You like it up there, nah? I'm not a whore. Angel tried to reaffirm, though her confidence had evaporated under the heat and pressure. You're a whore, and if you don't admit it, I'll call the police right now and have you arrested for forgery and fraud. What do you mean? These phony papers. This diploma from Hong Kong. I've seen hundreds. They're printed here in Taipei. And this work record, they use the wrong stamp date. What you are doing is trying to enter the United States illegally, and that is a federal offense. I could have you arrested right now, and you spend 2 years in Banqiao Penitentiary. So just admit you're a dirty little whore trying to sell your stinky pussy to the Americans. How can you be so cruel? Admit to me you're a dirty little whore, I will let you go. Angel looked to the friendly American for some kind of reprieve, but he didn't understand a word of Chinese, and he merely glanced back at her with a pleasant smile on his face. Say I'm a dirty little whore. Say it, you bitch. I'm a prostitute. No, you're a dirty little whore. I'm a dirty little whore. Now apologize for wasting my time with a dirty whore like you. I'm sorry. The Chinese man was satisfied. He sat back and shuffled the papers, then turned to the American officer. It seems Miss Angel has changed her mind about visiting America. Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe next time, then. Thank you for coming, said the American as he offered his hand goodbye. Angel didn't take it. She bolted from the room, mascara painting her cheeks black with shame. The Chinese man smirked. Angel ran past me as I sat in the waiting room. I caught up with her, and we hailed a taxi back to her place. That night, Angel took me to a fancy restaurant and got very drunk.